Buno.
Eagle 8 HD over developing scene. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office Forensic Unit pulling up to the scene at the Pasco County Landfill. The deputies are searching for a possible connection to the disappearance of 34-year-old Kathleen Moore, who's been missing since Monday. And not too far away in Newport Richey, authorities are at the home of Moore's boyfriend here in the Tampa Bay area. Hey there, everybody. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. A lot of developments occurring in the last 90 minutes on the disappearance of Kathleen Moore, 34 years old. We're going to get into Kathleen Moore's story. If you haven't heard of this story before, we're going to go over all the details. But first and foremost, I want to get you over to Eagle 8 HD, and let's just talk about what we're seeing from Eagle currently live over the landfill in Pasco County. Now, forensics units with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office have recently pulled up at the scene. WFLA News Channel 8 confirming that the Sheriff's Office is here for a possible connection to the disappearance of missing woman Kathleen Moore, 34 years old, who hasn't been seen in about 5 days. Again, we're going to get into her story, but you're looking here live from Eagle 8 HD as a forensics unit I don't know if is pulling away here or driving deeper into the Pasco County landfill. They have been here for some time. Eagle just getting here to the scene moments ago. So let's get into the story of Kathleen Moore. Last seen November. Let's bring up her pictures here. Last seen November 29th, 34 years old, and friends with Jessica Brummett that you see there on the right side of your screen. Jessica sending us these photos. We'll stay here live with you on Eagle 8 HD. We're losing sunlight here and on the Gulf Coast side of Florida, but we'll stay here with you. There's Kathleen Moore on the right side of your screen. Pictures, again, sent in by Jessica Brummett. Considers her a best friend, sisters, if you will, and gave us permission to share these photos with our audience. Kathleen had been living in Clearwater, Florida. She was last seen by Jessica Brummett last Thursday for Thanksgiving at her parents' home, Jessica Brummett's parents' home. You saw the parents there in a previous photo in Newport Richey. The parents very close with Kathleen as well. Brummett said that she messaged with Kathleen on Sunday morning on Facebook Messenger. That's the last time that they had any communication with one another. Brummett said that Kathleen, this is all according to WFLA News Channel 8's Justin Shecker, who's going to be joining us momentarily with the latest from the boyfriend's home. We'll have more on that in a second. But Brummett said that Kathleen, right side of your screen, was at a friend's home in Largo, left her car there, and then took an Uber to see her boyfriend. Her boyfriend in Newport Richey. Now, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office says that she was last seen around 1 a.m. on Carmel Avenue on November 29th. So early that morning, literally last seen that night of November 28th going into November 29th. Now, according to Brummett, Kathleen got into an argument with her boyfriend on Sunday night and was trying to leave the scene of that argument with her boyfriend. She had FaceTime with a friend saying that she was waiting for an Uber to leave the scene of that confrontation with her boyfriend, according to Jessica Brummett. Now, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office has detectives on scene right now connected to her missing person case at the boyfriend's home in Newport Richey. That's where Justin Shecker is. We're going to have a live report coming up from Justin here momentarily as soon as we're able to get him live on WFLA Now. We're waiting for him to just kind of assess the scene. He has just pulled up to the scene there as the Pasco County Sheriff's Office is investigating the home of the boyfriend. Now, the home there is on Carmel Drive in the Seven Springs area of Newport Richey. And there's more to this story. I want to make sure that I read this here accurately for our audience. Let's leave Eagle 8 HD up on the screen because I'm looking outside. A beautiful, gorgeous sunset right now over the Tampa Bay area, but the sun is setting, and we are going to be losing sunlight. And some areas, when we have Eagle 8 HD, when we have a lot of street lights, we can show you that area because it's well lit. This is a very rural, obviously, Pasco County landfill. So when the sun goes down, the lights go out, that's really going to be it from Eagle. So we're going to stay with Eagle for as long as humanly possible here as we try to decipher from the air what's going on at the Pasco County landfill. Now, according to Jessica Brummett, the best friend who sent us the pictures that we've been showing here on WFLA Now, a homeless man was searching for food not too far away from where this has all been going on. And a homeless man found Kathleen's cell phone, found the phone in a dumpster at a Walgreens near the boyfriend's home, and told, and this, all this information coming from the closest friend, Jessica Brummett, the mother spoke to, now as I understand it, the mother of Kathleen Moore spoke with this homeless man, recorded video of him, and the cracked cell phone has been turned over to deputies. The cracked cell phone that was Kathleen Moore's, found in a dumpster by a homeless man just searching for food at a Walgreens in the area near the boyfriend's home. Now, let's make that very clear. The Walgreens itself is near the boyfriend's home in Newport Richey. That cracked cell phone has been turned over to deputies. So that's another very fascinating development in this case. All eyes are on here from Eagle 8 HD as we hope to get some answers. Now, we're going to have another live feed to bring you here momentarily, folks. Another live feed that we're going to be showing you, and that live feed is from Newport Richey. We're going to be taking you live to the boyfriend's home where the Pasco County Sheriff's Office is currently on the scene. We do not know whether or not the Pasco County Sheriff's Office has anything on the boyfriend right now. We do have, of course, these details from Kathleen Moore's friend talking to WFLA News Channel 8 and talking to Justin Checker, saying that there was this confrontation, this fight, and that Kathleen Moore was trying to leave the scene, try to get away or leave that scene in an Uber, and that then the phone of Kathleen Moore was discovered in the dumpster at a Walgreens nearby. So we're hoping to find out more details here momentarily once we do have a live picture from the scene. You can use, as we do here, everybody on WFLA Now, looking at these photos of Kathleen. So here is the photos now of Kathleen Moore on the left, Jessica Brummett, her closest friend, on the right, and then Jessica's parents. They're all very close, as we understand it. And Brummett, again, a native of Clearwater, Florida, in Pinellas County, just south of Pasco County. But again, let's show you Eagle 8 HD and keep this split screen up for as long as we have daylight over the Pasco County landfill that is being searched. Now, we don't have too many details as to this possible connection of the landfill to Moore's disappearance. We just know that the deputy presence and the forensics unit presence here at the landfill on the left side of your screen is connected to the Kathleen Moore case, we've been told by Pasco County officials. I'll use our Facebook Live and YouTube Live comment section with hashtag HeyJB to try to feature some of the questions and comments that are coming in on WFLA Now. But in the meantime, folks, I'm going to try to step away from the microphone for 90 seconds and get an update on where we are with the live feed from outside of the home of Kathleen Moore's boyfriend that is currently being combed through by investigators, deputies with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. So I'll be stepping away for 90 seconds. Back here soon on WFLA Now.
Streaming live on WFLA Now, powered by 1-800-ASK-GARY. Here's JB Buno.
Engaging a new digital audience here on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. We're following the story of 34-year-old Kathleen Moore, missing for the last week or so, the last 5 days. Friends, family desperately hoping that she is found alive. But now Pasco County authorities searching a landfill in Pasco County, possibly connected to her disappearance, WFLA News Channel 8 has learned. Back here with you live, everybody, on WFLA Now. We have been told that Eagle 8 HD is returning home to the nest. Reason being is because Pasco County officials have left the landfill. Don't know if they discovered anything there. Don't know if there's going to be any return trips back. But we did have the video here at the beginning of the stream showing the cruisers that were there combing through the area. And we were told by Pasco County, by the sheriff's office in Pasco County, that they were there in connection to the Kathleen Moore disappearance. Kathleen Moore, here on the right side of your screen, not seen since early morning hours of November 29th when, according to her closest friends talking to WFLA News Channel 8, she was engaged in a fight with her boyfriend, a boyfriend who lives in Newport Richey, Florida, and a boyfriend who currently, as we understand it from WFLA's Justin Shecker, who's at that scene. Deputies and investigators are now going through that home and are at that home presently. We'll have details on that coming up here shortly on WFLA Now. As soon as we have a feed to bring you, we're waiting for the crews, our news crews there, to get their feed up and running so we can bring you that picture. In the meantime here, folks, what I'll try to do is I'll try to answer some of the questions here about this story. And here's an excellent one that just came in from Allison Johnson. Hashtag HeyJB, does the Uber driver show that they picked her up, or was the ride canceled? I don't know if we have those details, Allison. This is a very pertinent question. I'm glad that Allison asked it, because all we have from Jessica Brummett, the closest friend, who you'll see, and when the photo cycles back here, you'll see here on the right side of your screen, near her parents and Kathleen Moore, that she was waiting for an Uber in the early morning hours of November 29th. And she was waiting on that Uber to leave. But let's not forget that the cell phone, Allison, was found inside a dumpster by a homeless man at a Walgreens dumpster. So don't know at this time whether or not she got in the Uber. But if the cell phone is at the Walgreens, where does that fit in? We don't know. She was waiting for the Uber, and we don't know whether or not she got in that Uber. Hopefully we'll be able to clarify that detail if we do have more information on whether or not she was able to get in the Uber. If she was able to get in the Uber, that then becomes part of an active investigation. Uber has cooperated with countless investigations in the past. If police are investigating transportation that involves an Uber or a Lyft, those organizations will cooperate as much as they can to provide information to law enforcement as to where that Uber went, where it was going to be headed, where the passenger was dropped off, so on and so forth. So it's an excellent question from a member of our audience, the first question that we're taking here, and we'll try to take some more here. Again, if you use, for newcomers here on WFLA Now, if you use hashtag HeyJB, that signals to us that you would like for us to feature your question or comment on screen. If you don't feel comfortable with your comment being on screen, just don't use the hashtag, and we'll let you continue to comment back and forth with your fellow commenters here on Facebook Live and on YouTube Live. Let's get to the next comment. Chelsea Loper, hashtag HeyJB, when will the feed be up at the boyfriend's house? I've been told within the next 10 minutes. So hopefully within the next 10 minutes, we will have up the feed of the boyfriend's house. Believe me, we want to be able to show you live coverage here of this story, and we're going to be able to do so once we have our news crews in position. As we understand it, a perimeter has been set up, so media can only get so close to the house. Again, tape going up usually means that something's going on. That's usually an indicator that, of course, the law enforcement agency at the scene doesn't want media getting too close to the scene of whatever they are investigating. So tape, as we understand it, is up or was up at a certain point, and we're going to have that camera feed right at that tape momentarily. I've been told, again, before 6 o'clock Eastern time, so that's 8 minutes from now. As we wait for that live feed to become available, and if I keep looking this way, it's because I'm looking for that feed to become available for us to grab. But in the meantime, folks, let's stay here with you live and answer any of the questions, or perhaps we have some other comments interactively here, interactive journalism that carries the story forward. Allison's question was a phenomenal one off the top. Did the Uber driver show that there was transportation for Kathleen Moore in those early morning hours after the fight, according to Jessica Brummett, had occurred between Kathleen Moore here and the boyfriend? Let's again set this table for you. Kathleen Moore, boyfriend, getting a fight, according to Jessica Brummett, in the area of the home of Newport Richey. Actually, let me make sure I have that right. Brummett says that Kathleen got into an argument with the boyfriend Sunday night and was trying to leave. We believe in the Newport Richey area. She had FaceTimed a friend saying that she was waiting for an Uber to pick her up. We don't know if she got in that Uber. We don't, to Allison's question here, but we'll try to feature some more comments and questions with the hashtag HeyJB. I'll bring up this comment from Deanna, and I think it's only because this is, I don't like to compare stories all that much. That's but Deanna here, Deanna Rinaldi, hashtag HeyJB, this is crazy. It's almost like Gabby Petito part 2 after a fight with the partner. Brian Laundrie was a person of interest in Gabby Petito's disappearance. With the boyfriend right now, we don't have anything suggesting that the boyfriend is in any way involved with the disappearance. We have it from her friend, not authorities, that there was an argument that took place. I understand that it can be easy to make that comparison to Gabby Petito. I will say this is a missing persons case right now. And it's so easy to jump to that terrible conclusion that something has happened to Kathleen Moore. We are hoping that Kathleen Moore is found safe and sound, as are, more than anyone, her friends and family. But I know from conversations with Joe Petito, Gabby Petito's father, that this is the type of story that the Gabby Petito Foundation is really trying to assist with, as far as making sure that future tragedies don't occur. Kathleen Moore is missing. What can be done as far as the resources that were committed to the Gabby Petito disappearance? What can be done to bring Kathleen Moore home safely to her closest friends and, of course, to her family? So I comparing the stories, I get that yeah, you hear some of the notes here that we have from my reporter's notebook, and your mind immediately goes to that story, but they are two separate stories, even though they do, to our viewers like Deanna, have the stories have a good amount in common, at least with what we know with Kathleen Moore at this stage in time. Let's get to some other comments as we are again. Oh, okay, we might have that feed coming up. No, that is not the feed. We just had 2 additional live feeds, one from Tampa International Airport, one from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office. Neither are the one that we are looking for from Pasco County, the Pasco County town of Newport Richey, where Justin Checker is. And we're trying to get up a picture as soon as humanly possible. I've been told it's still planned for early in the 6 o'clock hour, so approximately 6 o'clock Eastern time. While we're waiting for that live feed, glad that you're spending a part of your Friday evening with us folks on WFLA Now. But again, I wish under better circumstances, talking about yet another missing person, and we're hoping that Kathleen Moore is found safe and sound. Although we have, of course, reported on a landfill possibly being connected to her disappearance, and we have also been reporting on the terrible situation that's been unfolding over the last 5 days as far as her disappearance, and now the investigation that's being done as far as the boyfriend's home in Newport Richey. Let's get to some more questions and comments that are coming in with hashtag HeyJB as we await. Heather Dubiel, and we were talking about this in the last stream with how much criticism that there has been of law enforcement in the Gabby Petito story, and how much criticism there was in our previous stream with the parents of Michigan school shooting suspect, the 15-year-old Michigan school shooting suspect. Wow, excuse me. The last name is escaping me, and just because I've been speaking so much on Ethan Crumbley, thank you, just had to bring up my notes here. We were talking about it in the Ethan Crumbley stream, and the parents that had gone off the grid, that there was a lot of criticism from law enforcement in that stream, and then of course going back to our Petito coverage. But it's nice to see every now and again. We always like to cover both sides of every issue, folks. And Heather Dubiel, hashtag HeyJB, saying in Pasco County we have an amazing sheriff's department. That's the comment here from Heather. And we have, of course, so many hardworking men and women of law enforcement that do their very, very best in the investigations to bring justice to causes and bring justice to the investigations that they delve so many hours into. Pasco County Sheriff Chris Nacco, who, of course, we've had on WFLA Now in the past in various press conferences from various stories. So a shout out to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office from Heather and our Facebook Live comment section. Let's get to some other comments that are coming in. You know, this is an interesting one from, let's get to Peach's comment. Peaches, do you think by default that her phone is in a dumpster? How did the phone end up in the dumpster? Did Kathleen put the phone in the dumpster? How did it end up there? Somebody was trying to get rid of it. A phone just doesn't appear in a dumpster unless you're trying to discard of it. Who was trying to dispose of the phone? And again, for those of you just joining us in the last several minutes, as we were noting earlier, Brummett's mother, who was very close to Kathleen Moore. So Kathleen's, one of her closest friend's mothers, said that a homeless man found the phone, Kathleen's phone, at a Walgreens, in a dumpster at a Walgreens parking lot near Newport Richey, near the boyfriend's home, and that the phone was cracked, and that cracked cell phone was turned over to deputies. Let's go back to the Gabby Petito story for just 1 second in this regard. Gabby Petito's phone was never recovered, and Gabby Petito's phone was the focus and the fascination. If you find, the point being is that if you find a phone, you are able to hopefully get to the information that it contains. Information such as the Uber, such as the final text messages or communication from that phone. So the cracked cell phone found in a dumpster by a homeless person was found in that dumpster at a Walgreens near the boyfriend's home. But here's the thing. Who put it there? We're now getting in the feed, everybody. The feed just popped up, and let's go now live.
On your side, Moore and her boyfriend were at her family's home last Thursday for Thanksgiving. That is the last time she saw her. Moore works as a bartender in St. Petersburg, but never showed up to work on Monday morning. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office is investigating this missing persons case. Brummett told me with each passing day, she's becoming more worried about the well-being of a friend she considers a sister.
You're listening to 8 on Your Side's Justin Shecker, who is just arrived now at the scene, reporting in our 6 o'clock newscast on WFLA News Channel 8. And we're going to have, hopefully, Jessica Brummett speaking about Kathleen Moore here momentarily. But let's listen in to Justin Shecker reporting live.
And take a look at this new video just into our newsroom from Eagle 8 HD flying over the Pasco County landfill in Spring Hill. A Pasco Sheriff's spokesperson says they will continue to follow up on any leads and tips they receive about Kathleen Moore's disappearance throughout the county. And the close friend also tells 8 on Your Side earlier this week a homeless man searching for food in a dumpster at a nearby Walgreens found Kathleen Moore's cell phone. I'm told that phone has been turned over to the Pasco County Sheriff's Office as part of their investigation. Be sure to stay with News Channel 8 for any updates on the search for missing Kathleen Moore. We're live tonight in Newport Richey. I'm Justin Shecker, 8 on Your Side.
And Justin here at the scene. So again, we were talking earlier about, let's go bring up, Justin does not know he's on camera there, but let's show you the scene. So Justin, you can see there standing in front of the camera, and we were noting earlier that we were losing sunlight fast, as we do. That's how sunsets work. Losing sunlight fast in Tampa Bay, in our area, in Pasco County. And it's pretty much dark, super dark now behind Justin, but hopefully we've got Chris Coyner, a phenomenal photographer here at WFLA News Channel 8. Hopefully he'll be able to brighten up the shot, open up the exposure a little bit, and we'll be able to see some detail as to what's going on behind Justin here at the scene. So let's see if we can bring in Justin as soon as he's able to join us here live, everybody, on WFLA Now. He's stepping off camera to call in and be part of our live stream now. And now that he's done with his live report here in the 6 o'clock news on WFLA News Channel 8, not sure how long Justin is going to be able to join us, but we'll try to get him in for as long as we can to provide some context as to the story in which we are covering, the disappearance of Kathleen Moore. And there is Justin calling in. Welcome to live streaming. Sometimes we don't get to go to commercial break and have somebody call in. Justin is literally calling into our live stream right now to be able to join us, so you're seeing just a little bit of what goes on behind the scenes as far as the live streaming product that we put out here on WFLA Now. If you hear the ringing, that is Justin Checker joining us, everybody. Justin, you're live on WFLA Now, and I hear you listening to our live stream here presently. You're live, you're on screen. Can you explain where you are and what is behind you, Justin?
Hey, JB, good evening to you. We just wrapped up our live report on News Channel 8 at 6. We are here on Carmel Avenue in Newport Richey. You can see the crime tape set up behind me. Pasco County Sheriff's deputies have been focused on searching a home. We're told it belongs to missing Kathleen Moore's boyfriend. I'll step out of the way. Our photojournalist Chris Coyner can zoom on in here. This is the last known area where Kathleen Moore was seen around 1 in the morning on Monday. As I mentioned to you, JB, I had a conversation with a close friend who considers Kathleen like a sister. Jessica Brummett tells 8 on Your Side that Moore took an Uber over to this address sometime Sunday evening, and that is the last time anyone heard from her, that she came to see the boyfriend here, and again, 1 a.m. is the last time she's known to be seen. The friend also tells 8 on Your Side, as you can see, this member of the sheriff's office takes some evidence bags out of the home here. Another key piece of information, JB, the close friend tells me that her cell phone was located in a dumpster by a homeless man at a Walgreens that we actually passed on our drive to the house here. That phone was found either Monday or Tuesday, and the friend says that has been turned over to the sheriff's office. Again, it's interesting to think about that phone being found in the dumpster, as you've been showing the images to our viewers of the of Eagle 8 HD flying over the landfill a little north of here in Spring Hill, the Pasco County landfill there. So, again, we are on the scene here, JB. Fast-moving investigation with deputies at least 2 scenes this evening connected to the search for this missing woman, Kathleen Moore.
8 on Your Side's Justin Checker. Justin, we were just reporting a moment ago that the Pasco County Forensics Unit was, as we'll bring us both up here on screen, and that's now Justin twice, but let's show some images here in the center of your screen of Kathleen Moore. Justin, let's talk about the landfill connection. And now, as we're zooming in here, Chris Coyner, right on point, our photographer here at WFLA. Justin, we'll talk more about the landfill in a second. Can we just kind of talk about what's going on here behind you?
Again, you're looking at the forensic van from the Pasco County Sheriff's Office. It appeared this person just put several bags, presumably of evidence, into the van. Again, we've been out here since about 4:30. They've been out here a couple hours before we arrived. And again, they've been focused on this home here on Carmel Avenue, which we're told is the home where her boyfriend lived. And again, this is the last known location where this missing woman was seen around 1 o'clock on Monday morning.
Now, Jessica Brummett told you, Justin, in your reporting that there was an argument that took place. Is that correct? What do we know about Kathleen Moore's boyfriend, other than the fact that he lives in Newport Richey, and other than this argument, this fight that occurred before her disappearance?
Well, JB, you know our procedures at this point. We are not naming or identifying this boyfriend. I can tell you we do know who this person is. And one thing that the close friend Jessica told me was last Thursday, Kathleen, the boyfriend, were at her family's home here in Newport Richey for Thanksgiving, and that was the first time Jessica told me she had met this boyfriend. Again, she told me it was sometime Sunday afternoon, evening. She took that Uber from a friend's house in Largo, left her car in Largo, took the Uber here, and again, that's when they never made it back. All she mentioned to me was that that Kathleen had tried to call another friend, saying there had been some argument with the boyfriend, and that she'd been waiting for a ride to be picked up, but that's the last anyone heard from her Sunday evening going into Monday morning.
So here's a big question that we got, and let's see if we can animate it again. It was the first question that we took here on our live stream. It comes from Allison Johnson. It was a perfect question to kick things off as far as the interactive questions that we take here on WFLA Now. She asked, #KJB, does the Uber driver show that they picked her up, or was the ride canceled? When Allison is asking, did she ever get in that Uber the last time that we had heard of Kathleen Moore?
That is a great question, JB. I don't have the answer to that particular question. I can also tell our viewers this young woman works as a bartender down in St. Petersburg, and she never showed up to work on Monday. So I think that's when the friends really started growing concerned about her whereabouts and her well-being, that this woman did not show up to work on Monday.
And you interviewed, Justin, Jessica Brummett. Can you explain to our viewers, for those just joining us, who Jessica Brummett is in relation to Kathleen Moore? Kathleen Moore, the missing woman here on the right side of your screen, folks. And there's Jessica. There's the photo of the four of them. There's Jessica Brummett all the way on the right. Can you explain their connection?
So Jessica basically says Kathleen is like a sister to her, that they met growing up in the same apartment complex when they were 11 years old. So this is 23 years ago. They're both 34-year-olds now. And really, her family's almost been like a second family to Kathleen. You can see that photo, how they spent Thanksgiving together. So they're just very tight, close-knit friends, almost like sisters. And she's one of many friends who've been posting on Facebook, on social media the past few days, trying to share Kathleen's photo, trying to get the word out, to try to help the sheriff's office try to find her and bring her home safe.
Now, we now have a portion of that interview that I believe, Justin, that was an interview that you did with Jessica Brummett. So we're about to hear from Jessica Brummett. What do you have to say? This is now the interview, so I'd like for you just to be able to introduce it.
You'll see just how emotional she is. With each passing day, she's becoming more worried about the well-being of her close friend. Take a listen now.
Trying to stay strong for my family. And mentally, it's been the hardest thing. And when I say hard, it's hard because I want to have faith and hope that she comes home so I can hear her infectious laughter and hug her and let her know that I love her. Hard because we're now at 5 days.
It's really hard listening to that, Justin. You can just hear it, that sense of desperation in Jessica's voice, hoping that Kathleen is found safe and sound. Missing for 5 days, this possible landfill connection, and the Pasco County Sheriff's Office searching that landfill. Let's just kind of pivot there for a second. We did see from Eagle 8 HD those forensics units there at the landfill in Pasco County. They are no longer there. They left a little bit before the sunset here in the Tampa Bay area. What do we know, if anything, right now about what was discovered at the landfill there in nearby Pasco County?
Still no official word, JB, about what might have been found. Again, I mentioned the detail from Jessica about her phone having been located in a dumpster at a Walgreens nearby. Obviously, the first thing I'll do when we wrap up this stream, I'll try to reach out to the public information officer with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office to see if anything might have been found. I can tell you they are still seeking tips. We have that information on our website, the number to call. We're going to share her photo as much as we can. Anyone in this Newport Richey area might have been by that Walgreens, which is one of the main State Road 54, Chris? On State Road 54, not too far from the home here. So again, this remains an active missing persons investigation, and I'll be sure to check back in with the Sheriff's Office whether they found anything over at the landfill. The spokesperson also tells 8 on Your Side they will follow up on any leads and tips they receive throughout this county. But in the other detail I mentioned, JB, that Kathleen had been living over in Clearwater, Pinellas County, but this area here in Pasco County is where the missing person report was filed, and this street here is where she was last seen 5 days ago.
Justin, we know that you have to get going here shortly to prepare for additional reports. We have a 7 o'clock newscast, an 8 o'clock newscast, an 11 o'clock news. We do a lot of news here at WFLA on television, on our broadcast product. So, Justin, I'll just ask you up front, how long do you have with us as we continue to take some questions and comments? How long do you realistically have here on stream with us?
Probably hang for about another 3 to 5 minutes, JB.
All right, let's do it. Another 5 minutes, and let's take this one from Chelsea Loper joining us. And Chelsea asking, oh, we have a, well, let's go.
Are you serious? This is what we're doing in the middle of the night when you can't see nothing? That's the problem. That's the... Please put it up, not us. We're going to give it back. That's great.
Justin, was that a neighbor, and what did he have to say?
I think it was just a neighbor who does not like the fact that his street is roped off right now. So just a neighbor on a motorcycle leaving the area. Nothing, I believe, to be related to this case, JB.
All right, let's get to one more time, and that's welcome to live streaming, folks. You never know what's going to happen when we are live at the scene of a developing news story. Let's get to Chelsea Loper's comment. We just threw it up here on screen, and Chelsea asking, #HeyJB, do you have a photo of the boyfriend or know anything about him? And Justin noted this a moment ago. The boyfriend isn't a suspect in any crime. He hasn't been charged with anything at this time, so we're not naming him right now. Justin, you know who he is, but he's not being named at this time until. But let's talk about the fact that his home. You're standing in front of his home, correct? And they just took a lot of bags of belongings out of that home. Do we know if Kathleen Moore lived at this home? Could those belongings have been hers and they're removing some of the items that were Kathleen's from the scene? Or is this just the boyfriend's home based on what we know tonight?
So according to the close friend Jessica, she tells me that Kathleen was living at an address in Clearwater, so she had not been living together with this boyfriend, according to the close friend. Again, we don't know exactly what was removed from this home. Detectives have been here for a couple of hours. You can see the forensic van behind me, and like you mentioned, JB, we did see a few of those brown bags being carried out, but as you know, in these investigations, they'll be pretty tight-lipped about what they found at this point. But again, they've been out here for a couple hours. We did see investigators put a few bags into the van behind me.
Another question that just came in from one of our commenters. We'll leave Justin up here on screen to take this one, and it comes from Donovan Roos, #HeyJB. Where is the boyfriend right now? This is a great question. Justin, do we know if the boyfriend is at the home behind you?
We don't know for sure. Our photojournalist here saw someone drive off who he thinks may have been the boyfriend. I'm going to review that video later because I have seen a photo. We're not sharing that publicly, so we think he might have left from the neighborhood here. We're not 100% sure, but that is another great question from one of our viewers right now.
Yeah, WFLA's Justin Checker. You can follow him, everybody, at WFLA Justin for updates. He's going to be at the scene following up on leads on this story. Justin, before we let you go, what are you going to be focusing in on here in the hours ahead? We'll be looking forward to your... Yeah, no, go right ahead, Justin.
Well, obviously, we're going to try to follow up with the sheriff's office to see if anything might have been found over at the landfill. Again, also following up on what the friend told me about the phone, Kathleen Moore's cell phone being found at the nearby dumpster. I just want to mention a few other things that I learned about this young woman in my conversation with her close friend. She has a biological daughter, so she is a mother. The child was adopted, but I'm told Kathleen is still involved in this teenage daughter's life. So we do know she does have one child. I was also told she was taking classes for phlebotomy, and was wrapping that up. And I also mentioned she worked as a bartender at a restaurant down in St. Pete. So just tried to learn as much as I could about this missing woman in my conversation with her close friend. But you heard that really emotional soundbite, JB, that with each passing day, as we know in these missing persons cases, just families become and friends become more worried and concerned about their well-being. So we'll probably circle back with Jessica tonight, see if she's any new information, and also try to follow up with the sheriff's office whether anything of consequence was found in this home and over at that landfill, which Eagle 8 HD was flying over earlier today.
Yeah, Justin here answering a question that, as it was being asked by unapologetic me, #HeyJB, is she a mother? And there, of course, you have the answer that yes, 34-year-old Kathleen Moore, a mother. Lindsay Slemp with the final question that we're going to be taking for Justin Checker, #HeyJB. Another great question. Justin, I was noting earlier, and you know from our coverage together of the Gabby Petito story, that there was so much focus on her cell phone because here in the year 2021, and really it's been this way for some time now, for many years now, your phone has so much information that is pertinent to an ongoing investigation, to where your whereabouts. With Gabby Petito, the phone eluded authorities. In this case, we now have the phone discovered by a homeless man in a dumpster at the Walgreens near where you're standing. So Lindsay here is asking, #HeyJB, where is the Walgreens security footage? Because as we were noting earlier before you hopped on stream with us, whoever put the phone in that dumpster, that's of course going to be a key part in the investigation. Probably we don't, but do we have any idea tonight as to whether or not there's any surveillance video of outside that Walgreens to potentially give us an angle as to who might have dumped the phone inside that dumpster?
Well, from experience, JB, dealing with big corporate companies like Walgreens, they're not going to turn that video over to us. We're probably going to stop by there as well because it's not too far. I imagine there are cameras on that property, and that'll be another question I have for the sheriff's office if they've reviewed any video from that Walgreens. But that is, again, a great question from our viewer there. Just from prior experience, JB, these bigger corporate stores don't tend to turn that video over easily to reporters. And again, we don't know exactly what time it might have been dumped. Again, 1 o'clock on November 29th, Monday morning, is the last time that deputies say Kathleen Moore was seen here on this street. But that, again, is a great question about any other video evidence they might have. And we'll be sure to stay on top of this and see if there are any more late-breaking developments for our newscast at 11.
And we'll feature this one more just because it's what we want to be talking about with missing person cases. Maisie here, #KJB, asking, is there supposed to be a candlelight event tonight at where she worked at St. Pete Whiskey Wings? Have you heard anything in your reporting? And if not, Justin, that could be relevant to your reporting tonight. A community member, Maisie, commenting at us saying that there might be a candlelight event for Kathleen Moore tonight.
At Whiskey Wings, that is the name of the establishment where Jessica told me Kathleen Moore does work. I have not yet had a chance to reach out to her. It's obviously been a hectic afternoon, JB, chasing this breaking news, talking to Jessica, coming to the scene. But I may try to make a call over to Whiskey Wings to see if they're doing anything over there. But again, seeing a lot of posts on social media. There are a lot of concerned friends and coworkers tonight all wanting to find Kathleen Moore safe and sound.
Yeah, so we'll try to follow up and let folks know if that is in fact happening. Again, that's not according to us, it's according to one of our commenters, and thank you for the commenter to pointing it out. Justin, before we let you go, your last word here, what are you going to be following up on in the hours ahead? I know you're working on several reports for WFLA News Channel 8 tonight.
Again, most of our report will have more of the interview. You heard some of it with the close friend, Jessica, just how emotional she is and how she wants to get this face out there as much as she can. Like JB, we know so much with the Gabby Petito case, how that family pushed to get her photo out there. I know you'll be sharing Kathleen's photos on social media. I've already tweeted them out. Some of our viewers can share them on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, just to try to get her face out there as much as possible. And again, we'll learn a little more about who this young woman is. Again, I mentioned she was studying phlebotomy. She has a daughter who's since been adopted, but she's still in that child's life. So there are a lot of people concerned tonight about this young woman's well-being, and we're going to try to follow up with the sheriff's office whether they found anything concrete, any evidence in the home or the landfill that will provide any clues as to what happened and where this woman is.
WFLA's Justin Checker, he's on it. Everybody follow him at WFLA Justin. He's going to be posting updates throughout the night, as is our entire WFLA News Channel 8 team. Justin at the scene of where, again, they were taking in the Pasco County Forensics unit with the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, taking in belongings from the home of Kathleen Moore's boyfriend there in Newport Richey. As developments occur in this story, you'll be able to follow Justin Checker for the latest, as well as WFLA News Channel 8. Justin, thanks as always for joining us.
Thank you, JB.
All right, back here, everybody, with you live on WFLA Now. Let's explain with where, as far as where as this goes from here. Justin, you'll see him tonight on WFLA News Channel 8. One more time, let's just play back just that portion of an interview that we have with Jessica Brummett. You can hear in Jessica's voice how close she was with Kathleen Moore, how close she is with Kathleen Moore, I should say, how close she is with Kathleen Moore, and how much she is just hoping and praying for her safe return.
Trying to stay strong for my family, and mentally it's been the hardest thing. And when I say hard, it's hard because I want to have faith and hope that she comes home so I can hear her infectious laughter and hug her and let her know that I love her. Hard because we're now at 5 days.
As we now go back live to the scene full screen, the forensic unit, they appear to be getting ready to leave, or at least the detectives, the investigators, the forensics unit getting now into their vehicle, and they might be leaving the scene. So we'll stay here with you live with this feed and see if they are done investigating. You can see that we have one member of law enforcement there going beyond the tape, off in the background beyond the property. And there is, let's just kind of listen in here for a moment if we can bring you some audio. We don't have any audio. Justin has turned off his microphone, so this is a audioless feed, a silent feed, if you will. And we'll stay here with you and just kind of examine over these last few minutes of this stream. I think you can see some additional members of the Pasco County Sheriff's Office now walking out of the home. And we'll just kind of follow this for the next several minutes before we wrap up here on WFLA Now. Here you can see a wide shot of the street. You did hear that there was a neighbor on a motorcycle coming down the street. Did not appear to be all that happy with all the media attention on the street. JB here with you live still on WFLA Now. Getting a lot of questions. Hello to YouTube. Debs, Devin, Shalina, Teresa, Kathy, Jerry Francis, Tom Hines. A lot of folks joining us here on YouTube Live and in that comment section in addition to Facebook. Sass K, I see that comment as well. A lot of commenters joining us as we do here with Interactive Journalism. We feature what you have to say here on WFLA Now. And one of the comments that I just saw was from Debs, who says, hashtag KJB, do they have sonar, other intelligence at the landfill? Why is there interest there? We didn't see any sonar or any ground detection equipment at the landfill itself. As I'm getting in some text messages here, okay. And we don't know if they were looking, beneath surface level there at the landfill. We don't know. It didn't appear to be that extensive or exhaustive of a search. And for Debs asking why the interest there, we had received a report and we had submitted an inquiry. We had received a report that the Pasco County Forensics Unit was heading there in connection to the Kathleen Moore disappearance. And when Eagle 8 HD got there, yeah, there were the forensic units at the scene. So we don't know what they've discovered there. And we don't know whether it was, again, that's why it wasn't a certain connection. It was a possible connection to the landfill. Something in their investigation possibly led them there. And we brought you that live, but we don't know with any certainty whether or not the landfill is, in fact, 100% confirmed having anything to do with Kathleen Moore's disappearance. But for what it's worth, the Pasco County Sheriff's Office Forensic Unit was there. We're still live here on the right side of your screen. Christmas lights, beautiful time of year here in Florida. It's cool temperatures, cooler than the 90s and triple digits that we can see in our summer months. It's pleasant here in the 50s and 60s across the Tampa Bay area, and Christmas lights up in preparation for Christmas. And wherever you're watching from here on WFLA Now, hope that you have a very happy and safe holiday. We're going to stay here with you live for another moment. Justin Checker just texted me with a correction saying that Jessica says Kathleen was picked up by the boyfriend on Sunday night at her friend's house. She did not Uber to the home. Okay, so it doesn't change the fact that she was at the home on Carmel Avenue where you're looking at here. But the method of transportation, she was picked up and taken to her boyfriend's house by her boyfriend. So that's a clarification on that element of the timeline. That's what we do here in WFLA Now. If we have a moment where we want to clarify something that we had said originally or do a correction, we can do so and be very transparent with our audience and interactively update you with what's going on with the stories that we cover. Rochelle in our YouTube comment section. I'm going to really kind of focus on YouTube because I was spending a lot of time focusing on Facebook. Rochelle in our comment section saying, what's the boyfriend's name? We're not revealing the boyfriend's name. Reason being is that he's not a suspect, or at least officially been named as a suspect, or has been arrested or charged with any crime. So we don't know what the exact reason is as far as them going into the boyfriend's home. They could have been going in there to just get belongings of Kathleen Moore's. But when we have something official that we can report from the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, yes, we will of course be reporting the boyfriend's name if it is pertinent to the ongoing investigation. We're going to be wrapping up our stream here, everybody, on WFLA Now. We are losing this feed. And a big thank you to Justin Checker for joining us, and a big thank you to, of course, the hardworking crew behind Eagle 8 HD, bringing us the shots of the landfill at the beginning of the stream. If you missed that, it's at the beginning of the stream. You can rewind. If you're joining us on Facebook or if you're joining us on YouTube, just rewind to the beginning of the stream. You'll catch the beginning of our coverage when the Pasco County Sheriff's Office was there at the landfill. The forensic unit was there driving around. It's a very large, obviously landfills are large in scope and size, so they were driving around. Don't know if there was anything of note discovered there. If we find that out, it's going to be from Justin Checker, who's in Pasco County tonight reporting for us, and of course I'll be sharing out any details that I learned tonight. But let's just pass this along here. We hope and pray that Kathleen Moore is found safe and sound. We don't like covering these stories when so many of them end in tragedy. We want to be able to cover these stories and have there be happy endings. And we can only hope that this story has a happy ending. And right now, she is a missing person in Florida. And we'll continue, of course, to treat this as a missing person and encourage you to tweet out, Facebook post, Instagram post, do anything that you can to help share out these images on social media, as we've been doing here at WFLA.com and WFLA News Channel 8, in the hopes of finding Kathleen Moore alive. The details are, you can see it in Jessica Brummett's face. They're worried. There's a tremendous amount of worry. Her phone, cracked phone being discovered in a dumpster, her leaving a home of her boyfriend after a fight, her not being heard from in 5 days' time. These, of course, are troubling components to this story, but we are, again, hoping that Kathleen is found safe and sound. One more time, a live look from the forensic unit. That is a canine unit there as well. That's an interesting shot here from photojournalist Chris Coiner. And we're about to lose this feed. I've been told that they're powering down this feed momentarily to conserve power. But this is one last final shot of the street, Carmel Avenue in Pasco County in Newport Richey, the site of an investigation by the Pasco County Sheriff's Office, the forensic unit on team investigating the disappearance of Kathleen Moore and going into the home of her boyfriend, trying to find Kathleen Moore safe and sound and finding what happened to her. The very latest for you on WFLA.com, the WFLA app. We have the latest tonight in as far as updates go. You can follow me at WFLAJB on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, as well Justin Checker, who you really want to be following for updates as he is there live at the scene covering this story for our evening and nightly newscast tonight on WFLA News Channel 8 on your side. The latest, folks, on WFLA.com and the WFLA app. We'll end out our stream here by showing you photos one more time of missing 34-year-old out of Clearwater, Florida, Kathleen Moore.